trying a new angle, mostly because the poster fell down. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Fistful of Feminism. My name is Monica, and today I want to talk about allyship. This is the first in a lot of videos that I think I'm going to be making about allyship. This was one of the most requested videos that I've had from a lot of people is about allyship and things like when to speak, when not to speak, when to step back, when to listen, what allies can do, especially after the US election, what allies can do to intervene in situations and things like that. Usually in videos like this, I will give a long list of things that you can do, ways that you can take action, but for this video, I felt like I needed to say something else. And the reason for this is that there are a lot of resources online, especially a lot of resources written by women of color, specifically talking about this exact subject. And I think a lot of that goes ignored because a lot of the content of those lists are not what people want to hear. So this video is going to be pretty blunt, pretty honest to me, and maybe not what other POC folks would tell you. It depends on our situations, but I've come up with a couple of things that I'd like to say to allies, and I'd like to keep this thread of videos going because I think it's going to be ever evolving. So, dear allies, it's not a competition on how much you know about oppression. I'm not interested in you explaining to me my oppression. I'm not interested in hearing that you get it, that you have read about it, that you are woke, that you understand. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in a conversation that will actually go somewhere, a conversation that actually centers my experience, if we're talking about my experience, or the experiences of women of color that we're talking about. I'm interested in the experiences of the folks that are underrepresented. I don't care or want you to prove to me that you are woke or that you understand what I'm talking about. If you understand, then just carry on the conversation. And if you truly understand, you'll know that you need to step back a lot of the time and just listen. So a lot of the time, I feel like allies feel like they need to prove that they know what's going on. But I think that true allies, and I feel like I'm gonna be getting away from the word allies because it's just been too butchered for me to really trust it anymore. But true allies are looking to not put themselves in the center of attention. True allies are looking to be there to do the hard work that's necessary and to not have to prove that they've read the same articles as me, or they know what whitewashing is, or they know what intersectionality means. I don't care. I don't care. Another thing that I think that allies need to hear is you don't always get to joke about the same things I get to joke about. There's a huge difference between me making a joke and poking fun at the things that oppress me and you doing it. And a lot of that is just tact. So it's one of those things where if I've experienced it, I get to speak to it. If you have not, you don't get to speak to it in the same way. I feel like this is so common knowledge, or at least it should be, but it just doesn't seem to be a very common thing in my communities where people are allies. So yeah, it's not funny when you make the jokes. Dear allies, you need to follow through on the things that you say. I don't particularly care if you say that something is feminist or that something is revolutionary or that it's anti-racist or decolonizing. I care if that's backed up with action and with the action that is appropriate. If you're saying these things but not willing to actually follow through on it and not willing to be called in or called out about it, that's not true allyship. Just stating that you know what it means doesn't mean you're doing the hard work to actually make it happen. And I have absolutely been guilty of this. I'm always learning along the way. Do you think I really understood words like anti-racism or decolonizing when I was first starting out? No, I didn't. And I needed to be called out by people in order to understand that I wasn't doing a good enough job. And in a lot of ways, I still don't think I'm doing enough. And that's why I'm continuing my education and listening to other people and going to events in which I don't speak. I'm there to listen and to learn because that is my responsibility. And I will always be striving to do more. There's never a point in which in this work you just hit the top and you know everything. That's just not how it works. That's not how it works for POC folks, so that's definitely not going to be how it works for allies. It should be an obvious one, but dear allies, if you're speaking more than the people that you're actually speaking about, you're doing it wrong. Don't speak over us. Let us speak. Let us not speak as well and understand your own place in all of this. Dear allies, I'm not your walking educational tool. Yes, I have chosen to put out videos like this. I've chosen to speak with people about these issues. But if you really want me to educate you, pay me. And I know that sounds kind of bizarre when we're talking about anti-capitalism and anti-oppression, but how it stands right now, people extract knowledge from POC folks. They extract knowledge for their own gain and don't recognize or don't compensate the POC folks that they're actually extracting the knowledge from. And using knowledge for your own gain versus the gain of the people that you're actually supposedly trying to help is so fucked up. If you don't want to do this, then you need to credit the people that you are speaking to when you're gaining knowledge. So just think of it like an essay. If you're talking to someone about something that a POC person has taught you, you credit them when you put it in your essay. You don't just claim it as your own thought. You don't get to claim that you are somehow this incredibly woke person on your own. You always need to be crediting the people that you learned from. And that includes on the internet too. If you've never met them, like, it's all the more easy to just credit your sources, cite your sources. And sometimes those people will be wrong too. And that's okay. The whole point of trying to be an ally is understanding that it's going to be a really tough and bumpy road, but it's not as tough for you as it is for me. And that's the most important thing, is that at the end of the day, if you are a proclaimed ally, you must acknowledge that your privilege will always save you and will always keep you safe. If you'd like to be an ally, put yourself out on the line for us, because we're already on the line doing the work that we do. It's not an easy conversation to have with allies, and these are just a couple of the things that I've been thinking about and stewing about, because I've been having a lot of problems with allies in my community and allies that I know overstepping their authority on a lot of things, or talking over me, or extracting knowledge from me and not crediting me, and not understanding that that it's not about them looking good. It's about all of us working to deconstruct oppressive systems. Anyway, I just needed to get all of those unscripted thoughts out of my head, because I've been really frustrated and I haven't been able to properly voice this because I haven't been able to make a video. So let me know what you think, and let me know if this is helpful. If you don't find it helpful, like I said, there are resources online for you to peruse and for you to learn for yourself. But don't just expect that POC folks or underrepresented folks, queer folks, trans folks, anyone is just going to educate you on what you need to know. It's your responsibility to figure that out. And then once you've educated yourself, then we can talk. Then we can get into the action that needs to be done and the work that needs to be done. I'm very thankful for all the folks in my life who are very good allies, who stand by me and stand by my word, but even those allies mess up sometimes. I mess up sometimes too, and that's okay. But when allyship is no longer what it claims to be, and is getting into territory that is actually more dangerous for people who are marginalized, then we need to be having this conversation. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave me some comments down below to let me know what you think of allyship, where it has worked or failed, what has worked for you, what has worked for others. As always, if you like, you can subscribe and go there and da-da-da-da-da. And I will see you all not next Friday, but the Friday after that. Thank you so much. Salamat po. See you next time.